Hey you, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Alexa, is there an agenda to depopulate the Earth?
From answerbag.com. Agenda 2030 will depopulate most areas of the population, reducing the entire population of the Earth from over 7 billion to less than 3 billion.
But I don't think it's gonna be depopulated by 2030. I think it's been put into action now. This whole, depopulation mess is definitely happening. But I don't think that obviously by 2030 it's gonna be down to that number because, it just can't. They're not gonna go like offing people. I hope. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover, let me know down in the comments below and I'll do my best to get it in an upcoming video. If you're having a good time, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. And then come back tomorrow, because I'm making a new video every day.
Roast beef sandwiches are no longer for sale at the iconic Arby's on Sunset in Hollywood. It closed last Friday, June 14th, after slanging sloppy sandwiches for 55 years. In an LA Times article, the general manager of this location cited a combination of pandemic fallout and a changing neighborhood, rising food costs, and the recent law that raised the minimum wage of fast food workers in California as reasons for its closure.
That $20 minimum wage was the nail that sealed the coffin. And it's just unfortunate. Another one bites the dust. Just watching them drop like flies here in California. It's crazy.
The results of this experiment will shock you. In the 1950s, a psychologist created an experiment to reveal to what degree a person will change their opinion to conform with the group. A number of volunteers were placed in small groups and they were given the task of correctly matching lines of equal length. Each group member had to say their answer out loud so their answer was publicly known. But what the volunteers didn't know is that they were the only true participants in each group. The other group members were actors. At first, the actors collectively gave the correct answers, but then they were told to deliberately give the incorrect answers to see how that influenced the volunteer. Incredibly, almost 75% of the participants conformed to the group at least once, even though they knew their answer to be wrong. The experiment has since been repeated many times, and it's been found that the larger the group, the larger the chance of conformity. And conformity also increases if the group in question has a higher social status. This experiment took place in a different age. Since the invention of the internet, social media and smartphones, we have unparalleled access into people's lives and opinions. So are we more likely to conform than ever? What do you think?
I think absolutely. We've become a herd of sheeple. We just kind of go along with what's happening, right? Not everybody. There's a majority of people just kind of go along just because they don't want to hit any of those bumps in the road. They just want a nice, smooth, easy life. And sometimes the best way to do that is to just go along with everybody. But then there's the ones that don't mind all the bumps in the road. The ones that speak up when stuff is just wrong. We need less following and more leading. And we're not getting.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Spiritual Melly. If y'all want to get metals out of your body, or if you don't know if you have metals in your body, you just want to be sure and you want to detox your body, bro, this product right here, bro, you have to get it. This is called activated charcoal. And basically all it is, bro, is carbon, the same thing that makes melanin or neuromelanin that makes, our skin brown. And also what they use in like sunscreens and stuff like that. But also it's used to like pull any toxins out of your body, especially if you have like a hangover, or if you have any chemicals or anything in your body that you're trying to detox out your body fast. It binds to all of those chemicals and flushes it out of your body.
All right, so I pulled this clip because it's the only one that I can find that validates the mystical chap's statement that he made, I believe it was over on my Rumble page, that if you do have nanotechnology, little robots, inside of your body, and if you take this carbon and drink it with, I believe it was distilled water, like you take it with distilled water, it will collect all of these little nanobots. Just like he said in the beginning, if you have metals in your body, right? So it collects all of this stuff and then it just comes out the other end. So I think that's super cool. Plus, charcoal is not actually like bad for you. I know if you have like a stomach ache, a couple of charcoal tablets will actually settle your stomach quite well. Yeah, so I guess it wouldn't hurt. But don't take what I say as fact, because none of these statements have been approved by the Food and Drug Administration.
What will the US look like in the year 2100? Well, according to new findings published in Nature Cities, the population of about 15,000 cities around the country will dwindle to a mere fraction of what they are now, meaning the urban US could look very different in the year 2100. The study analyzed data collected from 2000 to 2020 by the US Census and the American Community Survey, which is an annual demographic survey conducted by the US Census Bureau. This allowed them to identify current population trends for more than 24,000 cities and model projections for future trends for those exact cities. The projections indicated that around half of the cities in the US, including Cleveland, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh, are likely to experience depopulation to 12 to 13% by the year 2100. Also, cities like Louisville, New Haven, and Syracuse, which are not currently showing signs of decline, but will be declining in the future. Regionally, the Northeast and Midwest will most likely be the most heavily affected by depopulation, and on a state level, Vermont and West Virginia will be the hardest hit, with more than 80% of their cities losing people. States such as Illinois, Mississippi, Kansas, New Hampshire, and Michigan could also see a significant depopulation. In contrast, cities in the south of the US as well as the West Coast will most likely be gaining population by 2100. Moreover, the authors also hope that their paper serves as a wake-up call to policymakers to begin moving away from growth-based planning and start finding place-specific solutions for cities that are likely to be depopulating until 2100.
I kind of like that because I like how it's following trends, but at the same time, I don't like it because it's just following recent trends in these cities. And there's not a whole lot of data behind it, but I do understand a lot more people are coming out of the rural areas and populating the suburbs a little bit more in the city, the big city areas. But I know this wasn't factored in, but I bet a lot of the city increase in population and these major metropolitan areas is going to be because of smart cities, right? And that's where people are just going to be drawn to.
People assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again in how we are used to normal, in the old fashion. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen. I see the need for action. I see the need for a great reset, which means to exercise here true global citizenship. Why not to tie government aid to the green economy which we have to create? Why we are here when we talk about the great reset, to talk also about innovation. How can we do things differently from what we used to do? And if we speak about differently, it means also how can we do it to make sure that
you will own nothing, and you will be happy.
All right, hold on to your britches here. I don't necessarily think that every single part of this agenda is bad. I understand that they're trying to have peace and people come together, and I understand that it's socialism and that's the hard part. I think what it is how we've been raised. So our expectation is to continue, working for what we have. And that's what we have. That's our pride. We work hard, we play hard. We work hard, we get nice things, stuff like that. But it's difficult to think that you will have nothing and you will be happy. But when you look at other countries that are doing it, like the Nordic countries, I know they're not like strict socialists, they're kind of centrists. There was socialism there, but now it's more center, right? But they have barely anything, and they are considered the happiest countries in the world because that's how they've lived. They've lived knowing I have what I need, and I'm happy about that. I work, I do what needs to be done. But here in America, it's completely different. It's all a country of stuff, which, it's not a bad thing. And it's difficult to imagine our lifestyles being taken away because this is what we've been told is our freedom and this is what we get and it's fantastic. And then they're like, no. So I understand like both sides of why it would be good and why it's not good. I mean, I don't want to live like that because I like the way that I live.
The plans for NEOM's futuristic city, the Line, have been cut from 170 kilometres with a population of about 1.5 million people to just 2.4 kilometres, but with a population of around 300,000 people. Now, I'm not a mathematician or an architect. To be honest, I'm barely even a journalist. But how are you going to fit 300,000 people comfortably into a 2.5 kilometre long line that's a city? It would almost be like living in Euston Station. According to Bloomberg sources, the 2024 budget for NEOM hasn't been disclosed, and at least one contractor has started to lay off a large portion of their construction workers. Does this sound a little bit familiar?
A high-speed line HS2.
The line is just one part of the overall NEOM project, though, which some describe as a giga project or a giga city. It's basically an attempt from the Saudi government to diversify the country's economy as they move away from gas and oil exports. And it was projected to cost around $1 to $1.5 trillion, which is about £800 billion to £1.2 trillion. I mean, I'd give it a go. I think it would be quite cool, definitely a unique experience for a year or so, but I couldn't really see myself building a life and settling there. What about you? Would you live in the Line?
They went from 170 kilometers was what they initially planned for this thing, right? That's a huge distance. And now it's only 2.4 kilometers. Oh man, I think they overestimated themselves. Maybe they're just gonna try and do, oh hey, let's do a little sample size and see how it works out. But to go from 1.5 million to 300,000 people at a 167 mile or kilometer reduction, that's insane, because that's 1/5, but it is not 1/5 of the space. So, but I would totally not live there. Let me know, would you live there?
It's so crazy to me that they literally put the truth right in front of our freaking faces. This is an encyclopedia from the 1900s. And this book in particular is about the United States and Canada. And I'm honestly shocked that they expect me to believe that if this is the oldest house in the United States of America, and then in the same breath tell me that the same people built this, or any of these, or this, or that, they seriously believe we are stupid. They tried to erase it all and burn it down to the ground. They don't want us to know what we were in the past. The more we start digging in the past for the answers, and more people start waking up and starting a journey similar to this, the more we will collectively uncover together as a community to expose the truth out of all of the lies. Stay curious, my friends.
It's so interesting these last few days talking about this agenda, this 2030, right? And then you look at this Tartarian empire that once was, and there's evidence of it all around us, and we have no knowledge of it. It's as though something happened and there was an agenda put into place, and this is what came of it. That's interesting, right? I know I just put that together in my brain right now, but it sounds like something, it could be something, right? Something happened. Something happened and it had to all be erased. So, okay. I did a quick follow-up on our container guy. This is what he's up to now.
TikTok, I got big news for you guys. So after posting the videos of this weird shipping container in my community and all the creepy stuff going on, people have been messaging me left and right saying that it's American Presidential Lines and that they are a very shady military shipping company. What's that about?
They're actually not a shady company. They have worked for the U.S. military since World War I. And yeah, they do hold military contracts. But they're not shady.
Hey TikTok, I'm still trying to spread awareness about the weird stuff going on with these crates. We're in crazy times, the videos keep getting taken down. All I want to know is, has anyone seen crates like this in their community? Just weird crates appearing everywhere in my community, and no one can answer the simple question of why they're here. And another weird thing is, why would a video of a shipping crate be taken off TikTok? What is going on?
I went back through his stuff. None of his things got taken down. They're all still there. But I do want to know, if you've seen any of these shipping crates around, has anything weird been going on around them? Because he says he can't get near them, yet he's made like 8 videos where he's standing right next to them. And there's police there, regular police. But they're also next to a building. I wonder if they're getting ready to like put a store in that building or something, right? And they got like their materials out there. I don't know. This one is absolutely hilarious, and I'll tell you why after we watch it.
Guys, major update. You guys want proof about the military vehicles that are being brought into this small town. I'm telling you, they're being brought in by truck, they're being brought in by shipping container, and we need to know why. What would military vehicles be used for in a small town? I'm confused. Is anyone else seeing vehicles like this being brought in to a town near you? We need answers.
Okay, so what is absolutely hilarious is that in a lot of his TikToks, he's filming at a military base, and he says that it's near his house. It's in his town. It's where he lives. There's a military base right by him, and he's constantly filming. Oh, weird stuff is going on here. You never see anything weird going on. It's just the front of the military base. But I'm like, come on. Yeah, of course there's going to be military vehicles. There's a freaking base there. Anyway, if anybody else has any substantiation to this particular claim, I would love to know. Those containers, I really don't think anything's come out of the container. It's been the same container for weeks. So I don't think anything fishy is happening with that one. I mean, if they were swapping them out, yeah, I would totally get it. But I don't think there's anything, I really don't think there's anything going on. He's just trying to cause a stir, and it's working, right? On that note, I'm going to call it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some different stuff. I'll say new things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.